Hi, my name is Paul. Welcome to my channel. Today, what I wanted to talk about is my experience and change of treatment after I had gained and lost 80 pounds. Because if I could point out just one thing that I have really noticed um, after losing the weight is that before, when I was, overweight and unattractive, if I was walking and a group of women were coming towards me or whatever, they would they would clear their space. So there would be a buffer area between me, right? So all this time, I've just gotten used to, if I'm walking in a crowded bar or a shopping mall or Target or Costco or whatever, that usually women would give me space, right? Like, no problem. I would just go there. It's like Moses parting the Red Sea. I'm Moses, group of women. Meh. Yeah, they don't really like to be in close proximity to unattractive men. And I'm going to show you now. I'm going to cut to the video of what I looked like before when I had gained 80 pounds. Okay, so that's a video of what I looked like before. Um, and just to explain it, the reason I got fat is I have a heart condition. It's right here. That's my defibrillator. Um, it causes my heart rate spikes, and like when I was exercising, my heart rate would spike. And if you can't exercise and you start leading a very sedentary lifestyle, you're gonna get fat. So that's how I got fat. Now, when you're losing weight, you really don't notice the changes um, because it's gradual. You're looking at yourself in the mirror every day, and you don't notice a big change in your appearance really. Um, so for the longest time, you know, I was walking around thinking I was looking like that guy. That guy was my face. And what I started noticing was, you know, I'm walking along and I'm used to women just whenever they pass, like I'm in the mall, women, a woman's coming towards me, or whatever. What I'm used to is them veering away, creating a buffer zone between me and them. As I was losing weight, what I was finding is like when I was walking and it's crowded, women would just right past me, like nearly collide, or I would uh, have to, out of the way to avoid a collision. And as that, from what I was before, that was just weird because I'd just be walking along, women would come right past me, like nearly brushing me or actually brushing me. Normally didn't happen. So what I did do was just started noticing, and if you start looking at it, you'll see this is what actually happens. Like, go to a crowded area, you airport, Costco, the mall, if you still go to malls anymore. Um, just someplace where there's a crowd, and you can observe this. If you see a guy that is unattractive, see what happens when he's walking by, or a group of women are walking by him. And what you're gonna see is the woman is gonna the woman, whoever it is, she's going to create a buffer zone around her and this unattractive guy. And that's what I've been seeing. And try it. Just see if there's a guy that at the mall that you think is unattractive. Just pay attention and see what happens when women walk by him. because they will create a buffer zone. They won't just risk running into him. So now, conversely, if you see an attractive guy, what you'll notice is women, when they're walking by him, they'll get right next to him. Not a problem. Um, it's like it's a force field. Think of it as a force field. She's got this shield. Unattractive man not allowed to enter the force field. The only exception is if she finds that guy attractive. Shields down. She'll allow him to get a lot closer. She'll get a lot closer just in passing. So, if you want a foolproof way, because I'm going to say this, men are terrible at judging how attractive other men are, especially you judging how attractive you are, because you really cannot be objective on that. So, if you really want a quick and dirty and easy way to tell whether or not a guy is attractive or not to women, because that is a huge problem. We just don't. How often do we say this? Why do you think he's attractive? And, we don't. Obviously, they're seeing something that we're not, right? So this way, it's a simple, foolproof way. If you want to know if you're attractive, just see if you're walking by a group of women going the opposite direction. How in an airport crowded situation, whether they're going to move out of their way to make space for you. Um, if they do, they're not finding you attractive. If you are, um, they basically, if they make you move and they don't change their trajectory or anything, or try to create a really good buffer zone, then that's how you can tell whether you are attractive to them or not. And this would go for any group of women, and I don't mean you. I especially don't want you to choose like 20-year-old Stacy's or whatever. Um, I'm talking about you know any women's taste in men and what men are attractive. They don't change. So even your middle-aged housewife, even your elderly grandma, she's gonna be able to tell whether or not a guy is attractive or not. And if you really want to know the truth about whether you're attractive or not, and avoid paying anyone to rate your face, which I don't know why anyone would do that anyways. Just just see how a group of women react to you as you're walking by. If you're trying to go from one end of the bar to the other, are they going to create a space? Are they going to move to create a space distance between you and them? Or they're just going to stay there and just allow you to walk by as even brush them? And if they allow, if they allow you to get that close, you should be able to determine, okay, yeah, you're attractive. And if you're seeing women part the Red Sea for you when you're walking, then you are not attractive. All right, so just to recap it, the way to tell whether either you or someone else that you can't tell if he's attractive or not is just see how women behave in his presence. Are they going to, if he's walking by a group of women or a woman, doesn't really matter, and it doesn't matter the age. Um, it can be elderly grandmothers to 20-year-old Stacy's. I'm not, so no, they all think the same. Either a man's attractive or not. If they think he's attractive, they don't mind brushing past him. That's what I've observed. You can go out, try it for yourself. You can pick out someone that you know is either obviously attractive or obviously not attractive. Just, see how women behave when he walks by. Are they going to make space? That's really a subconscious. We're using women's subconsciousness, okay? That's why I think this is a really good and foolproof way if you really need to know. Because if you ask straight up, no woman's going to tell you the truth. They don't want to hurt your feelings. Um, but when they react to a man who's walking next to them, by them, that is pure instinct. That is pure subconscious level action. So that is like probably the best way to do it. Just my thoughts. And thanks for watching.